Hello fellas and lady fellas, Nerd Online here for my first video. I've been planning to do a video for a while and I didn't have any good ideas until now. This came to me the other day when I was arguing with my friend about the Star Wars prequels. For some bizarre and unknown reason, he thinks that they're good. I get that everyone is entitled to an opinion, but he hasn't given me a single valid reason for liking them. If anyone does like the prequels, then I'm curious to know why you do, because I can't see any reason anyone would. But yeah, I'm going to do a video on the top 10 reasons the Star Wars prequels are the worst movies ever made. Remember that this list is in no particular order, so my number 10 might be... like, if I rank them, my number 10 will probably be my number 1, but, you know, I don't remember them that much well, but yeah, okay. So, straight into the video. Number 10! Racist character stereotypes. Ooh. The Star Wars prequels are filled to the brim with racist stereotypes and characters. One prime example is Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar is a character clearly based on an African tribesperson. He was also included because George Lucas thought Star Wars was a series only enjoyed by children and not adults or teenagers. So he included a racist caricature that is also the most ridiculous character ever in the history of the world. Ever. Like, seriously. So he included that character to sell merchandise into a series about psychopaths, murder, love, war, politics, assassination attempts, dictatorships. I don't know if I've said that already, probably have, I don't know. Okay, so another racist character is Watto. Can't pronounce that name. Jewish caricature. He is a greedy merchant obsessed with money and property, even to the extent of buying and selling slaves. When Lucas thought of this character, he obviously decided to keep the stereotype going with the long, hooked nose. As if the nose and Middle Eastern accent weren't enough, in the second movie, he gained a beard and a hat that looks somewhat familiar. Don't know why, though. Okay, number 9! Woo! Overuse of special effects and green screen. Everything in the prequels looks so fake. The original trilogy looks great, and the effects still hold up. The mixture of special effects and practical effects work great together and are really well balanced. The prequels are sloppy and lazy and use the easier option of using a green screen instead of the realism of practical effects. They're so bright that they threaten to blind the audience. Sarcasm, by the way. So clean that they lose all connection to reality. These scenes lack any real tension because there is no true interaction with the setting, and even during times of crisis, characters are just walking and talking, sitting and talking, or just standing and talking. Cut to the action and we're assaulted with such frantic levels of activity that we might as well be watching a bizarre cartoon. Number 8. Lack of a main character. All good movies have a main character that the audience can relate to. For example, Tony Stark in the Iron Man series, James Bond in the James Bond franchise, Harry Potter in the Harry Potter franchise, and for lack of a better example, Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars trilogy. A big problem with the Star Wars prequels is that they don't have a main character. You may say Anakin is the main character as the prequels were made for the sole purpose of explaining how Anakin became everyone's favourite villain, Darth Vader. This is, however, untrue, because in The Phantom Menace, Anakin wasn't introduced until 45 minutes into the movie, and even then he was just a stupid, whiny little kid. You may say Obi-Wan, but he never really does anything other than whip out a lightsaber every 5 seconds, and sort of, kind of guide Anakin, maybe a little bit, I don't know. So with no main character for the audience to relate to, the movie cannot truly interest people and engage the audience. Number 7. Anakin's failure as a character. Anakin is a terrible character. I don't know where to start with him. He's supposed to be a good character who people can relate to, and he's likable, and then he's slowly swayed to the dark side because he let his emotions overcome his training, but instead, he's portrayed as a heartless douchebag with no emotions whatsoever. Think about his interactions with other characters. He never bats an eyelid when he is separated from his mother, then he waits 10 years before giving her a second thought. We know from the originals that he and Obi-Wan are friends, but the prequels only ever seem to show their resentment towards each other. We know Anakin and Padme are in love because we've been told that as an audience. We've been shown that Padme had very little attraction to Anakin, and that she wasn't allowed to love because she was a senator, and wasn't allowed to love because love leads to the dark side. Oh no, wait, that's Anakin. That's why he's not allowed to love, but yeah. Yet she continues to wear sexy and revealing clothes around him. We're supposed to care about him even though we know his fate as a villain. Return of the Jedi proves that we can feel empathy for him. But it's hard to be sympathetic for a character who we have no reason to like and so many reasons to hate. Number 6. Mace Windu. Samuel L. Jackson is one of my favourite actors of all time. He's only good in one type of role, an angry, shouty, violent badass. Mace Windu is not this. Sure, he can handle a lightsaber pretty well, but that's not badass in the prequels where almost every character can wield a lightsaber. His lightsaber looks stupid too because it's purple. Yeah, you heard me right. Purple. The prequels are filled with oddly coloured lightsabers for some reason. Now, Sam Jackson seems caged in this role, and thanks to terrible writing, he never gets a chance to be an aggressive or intense character. He was added to add some racially diversity to the mostly white cast of the movie. He was the most popular and bankable black actor at the time, so he was cast as Mace Windu. Lucas didn't stop for 1 minute to see why he was so popular and what type of role he was good in. He's been typecast in so many roles and it works. And has anyone else ever noticed how Mace and Lando are the only 2 black people ever seen in the Star Wars universe? Just think about that for a minute. Number 5. CGI lightsaber wielding bouncy Yoda. Okay, let's start on Yoda. He is terrible in the prequels. In the original trilogy, Yoda showed us that the true nature of the Force is spiritual and mental and not physical. The prequels take away all of this by giving Yoda a lightsaber, of all things. A lightsaber. In the originals, he never gives Luke any training with a lightsaber or anything like that. A famous Yoda quote that you will all have heard if you're watching this video is, "Size matters not." The prequels show that size does matter in a lightsaber fight. I mean, the original showed that too, but, you know, we're talking about the prequels, so yeah. Now, with Yoda being at a constant disadvantage in this, he even has to throw his lightsaber at a clone trooper. Clone trooper? Yeah, that's what they're called. To reach him. Like, just to hit him. Like, you can't kill him without it. I'm seriously face-palming when I'm thinking of Yoda. It's horrible. Okay, in his fight with Sidious, he bounces off the ground and flips about like jumping off walls and blah-de-blah-de-blah. He and Sidious are shown to have equal power in the Force, so shouldn't Sidious be doing this as well? Yoda looks terrible in the prequels as well. He was completely CGI and looks so clean and fake. It's horrible. Now, in the originals, he looked as real as a telekinetic green alien can. I mean, so not that real, but real. Like, he looked like he could exist in in our universe, like the real universe. Yeah? Get me? Cool. No characters could react to him because he was made all by CGI on a green screen. So, and like, have you noticed that whenever a character is talking to Yoda, they're just looking in general direction and don't make eye contact with him? He has no emotion, and I don't trust his judgment or his methods or anything in the prequels. He's supposed to be a wise Jedi Master, but he's an idiot. I'm not saying he's a bad character. In the originals, he is much better portrayed, and he's great. I love Yoda, don't get me wrong. Okay, next point. Number 4. Lightsaber every 5 minutes. It seems that these movies couldn't go 5 minutes without showing a lightsaber. The Phantom Menace started with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon drawing their lightsabers. The originals used the lightsabers sparingly, and when they used them it had great effect. This was because they didn't have the money or the technology or the computers to put them into every scene, and this worked well. Luke hardly uses his lightsaber in the originals, and when he does bring it out, we know he means business. In the prequels, everyone has a lightsaber, and it's too much to handle. Like, when there's 100 lightsabers in one shot, my eyes just go, yeah. Oh my god. The fights also look fake in these movies because they are so well choreographed. Like, they look great, but they look fake. Like, they're well choreographed, yeah, but they're too well choreographed. And if you pause them and, like, rewind them a bit, like, go onto Google now and search, like, Phantom Menace lightsaber fight GIF, and like, you'll just see that they're clearly aiming for each other's lightsabers. Now, even the long foreshadowed Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight, which is admittedly exciting for a minute or two into its colossal runtime, it feels emotionally flat. I mean, you can tell that Anakin's trying to kill Obi-Wan, but that's pretty much it. Sorry, my voice cracked there. Blah. Thanks to the fact it's emotionally flat thanks to the fact we're never really given a real reason to care about it. Number 3. Bad acting and bad scripts. The acting was horrible in the prequels. The actors are poorly suited for the roles they were in, and they portray the characters horribly. The script is also terrible. It feels as if the script used in the prequels were the first drafts of the scripts you had. If you combine the terrible actors with the even worse dialogue, you get a movie with no emotional depth. Well, movies in this case. The lines were delivered so flat and said in ways that make you want to go into the movie and like into the dimension and slap the characters in the face. When you watch the prequels next, then watch out for the line that is so comically bad, it makes me laugh every time. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here, everything is soft and smooth. This line is so bad because it just doesn't fit human. It's human. Like, it's something no human being will ever say. Ever. Then paired with the flat, emotionless delivery of the line, you get the worst line in the history of all movies ever. Number 2. Bad plot. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think is the trigger that sets up all the events in the Star Wars prequels? If you said the Senate sent Jedi Knights to negotiate on behalf of Naboo because the Trade Federation set up a blockade around the planet to force Queen Amidala's hand by cutting off all supplies, supposedly to protest the taxation by the Galactic Republic, which was actually a smokescreen for the military arm of the Trade Federation to invade Naboo because reasons? Then you just use Google to look that up, because no one in the history of cinema actually understood what was happening other than pod racers and Darth Maul. A movie especially one heavily marketed at children, needs a storyline you can follow. This brings us on to my final point. Number 1, George Lucas. George Lucas is a bad director and a bad filmmaker in general. In the original trilogy, Lucas, was challenged on every idea and didn't fully direct a single one of the movies, except maybe 4, but even then, people still said no. In the prequels, it was decided that money would be made no matter what, which is true, I guess. Now, George had full creative control on these movies, and as a result, he put no effort into the plot or the script, and all he cared about was money and merchandise. He was surrounded by yes men in the writing of the prequels who agreed to everything. This should not have happened, because if you just look at George Lucas's original script for A New Hope, you will see how bad his writing is. He gave Han Solo a robot hand, and he made C-3PO a sleazy car salesman type of droid. Yeah. If this first draft proves anything, it's that George Lucas needs to be challenged in order to create something great, like A New Hope. So that was my list of 10 reasons the Star Wars prequels are terrible. If anyone has any reasons of their own, then leave them in the comments, or tweet me at thatnerd online. That Twitter account is linked in my YouTube page thing in the About tab. So is my Facebook if you want to message me on there. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, then please comment or like or subscribe, or some combination comment and like, or like and comment, or subscribe and like, or like and subscribe, or you could do all of them, just all three, like, subscribe and comment. I understand if you don't want to watch my videos, because if you don't want to subscribe, not watch my videos, please watch my videos, I'm begging you. Nah. Yeah, I understand if you don't want to subscribe, because this is my first video and you don't know if I'll upload ever again. I could just leave it from here, but at least check my channel in a week's time, and I should have a video up by then. If not, just check every day, just check a couple of days ahead, and I should have a new video up. If I don't, I've quit, so sorry. Yeah, so see you guys, I guess. See you. Bye, maybe.